Everyone remembers the Freedom Convoy, or the truck rally, which wasn't about freedom. It was people who were complaining about having to get vaccinated if they were to go over the Canada-U.S. border or somewhere else. And this was mostly led by some truck drivers in Canada who didn't want to get vaccinated. So they started this convoy of a group of these truck drivers, and remind you only that this was like only like at least 1 or 2% or of actual truck drivers in Canada, and not everyone else. And everyone else were complying with the rules and just to keep their jobs and they went from the west coast all the way to Ottawa, Ontario, where the capital city of Canada is, and they were blocking roads. They blocked the Alberta highway. They were attacking reporters talking about this topic in Surrey, British Columbia, which a reporter, she almost lost her life when she was talking about it. She was nearby where this protest was happening, and everyone has the right to protest, but she was just talking about these people are protesting over here in Surrey, BC, near the Canada-U.S. border, and then people know at the protest, which consisting of these truck drivers who didn't want to get vaccinated, and people who in Canada who generally didn't want to get vaccinated, and this is only a small percentage of the population who didn't want to get vaccinated, and it's not the rest of Canada who actually did get vaccinated. Got their first, second, or third, and maybe fourth, and some fifth, and they had to drive back to their headquarters in British Columbia, wherever that news headquarters is. Alberta drivers, they had to suffer that traffic, and Windsor Detroit border crossing. The Ambassador Bridge on the Canadian side, some school that had some teachers who decided to take the students, the little kids, and literally park in front of the border crossing where you're going to go to drive from Canada to USA. They decided to use the children as human shields without the parents' permission. And this was very a serious thing that also got child aid society to attention, and also the parents, and also the police, Ontario Provincial Police, and RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, attention. And not only that, there was a lot of rioting in Toronto, Ontario, the biggest city in Canada, next to Montreal, Quebec. There was also some stuff going on in Montreal, Quebec too, and the worst was in Ottawa, the capital city of Canada, where there was a lot of honking, illegal uses of fuel just to be used for the truck drivers or just for them to power their vehicles, and also there are protesters who are frustrated about having to get vaccinated, and people who are anti-vaccine, anti-government, anti-Trudeau. So they were also rioting in Rideau Center, the big mall in the downtown on Ottawa, and also breaking into people's homes, vandalizing Terry Fox statue, and also unnamed, unknown Canadian soldier who risked his life in whatever war it was. We don't know if it was a World War One, World War Two, Korean War, Vietnam War, Iraq, Israeli, or no, Vietnam, or whatever else. And Justin Trudeau, he had to pull the Emergency Act to be in aid of the unfortunately the suffering people in Ottawa who had to deal with all this noise, and also probably the worst thing was animals that the RCMP and they were using were being attacked by these protesters who don't care about the animals, that they only care about themselves, and they don't care if an animal dies. Also attacking the police and using their own kids as human shields. And you know who uses people as human shields? Terrorists. And you know who actually approved of like what those people were doing? Donald Trump, former U.S. president. And there are people that actually like him, which is just absolutely crazy. He's probably the most racist president ever. He hates white people who oppose him, the Democratic Party. He hates the African Americans. He hates the Asian community. He hates the Latinos. He hates the Hispanics, and also probably the Native Americans too. And the fact that there are actually people who actually like him. Why would you like someone who's racist and cause more issues, and he's going to be one of the re-elective president nominations, which just people don't want to go to USA anymore because of this. And not only that, there was some illegal money sent from Russia, and people who were funding money to that convoy to GoFundMe, GiveSendGo, and some other campaign donation websites, that whatever accounts they were using, they had to freeze the accounts, so they can't use their accounts for any certain reason. And one of the leaders who started this protest, which might have been started as a bit minor to very threatening, was Tamara Lich, and she was to get a sentence, and now it's happening this week. So the fact that kids used as human shields, people are very concerned about that part. And what the citizens of Ottawa had suffered that was probably the worst thing that ever happened to them. And even though you may hate Justin Trudeau, and there's a lot of reasons to not like him, but trying to kill him just because you don't like him, there was that was a bit extreme. And possible nominee for next Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Poiliverre. He supported the protest, talking to one of the leaders, which if you're going to be elect for leader for a country, if you have ties to terrorist group, you probably shouldn't be elected. And the fact that people in Canada who actually like Donald Trump, Canada is slowly becoming a USA, where citizens, they don't even like each other. And if you would ask a citizen in USA, would you trust somebody on the street for if you were dealing with a problem and you needed help? They would mostly say, "I don't trust that person because that person is I'm a Republican, he's a Democrat, or I'm a Democrat, she's a Republican." Or either it's like a race thing, and that lack of trust that's going on. And the fact that people wasted a lot of money for this instead of, especially the people who donated money in Pornhub, Ontario, which last year, which they did, they should be ashamed of themselves, funding a group of terrorists who would rather make Canada look like an idiotic country and bring the country down, make them look like a bad image, because Canada is known for a country that helps other countries, and what happened to that? It doesn't happen anymore. Back in the old days, Canada was viewed as a much better country and great for people to immigrate to. You have your rights, charter rights and freedoms, signed by Trudeau and Queen Elizabeth II. God bless. Unlike the some rules in USA, which would you would have less rights. And the fact that a group of people was actually viewed as a good group of people trying to support a country, but it was not for a good reason, and it was only a selfish reason, just because they didn't want to follow along with what most of the other people was doing, and it was just for safety reasons. They were complaining like little children, and they were ruining everyone's lives, and even hurting people on the street. And that was mostly in Ottawa. Think of the people in Ottawa and how they would feel if almost 2 months of all that honking of noise and vandalism, or threatened by people just because you were following the rules, and you're wearing a mask, you decided to get vaccinated, you decided to be on the safe side, and and just because you thought of this way, and that Don't play it safe, and these people, they don't agree with you, and these people who don't agree with you and I think they only have their rights, and even though you understand that why where they are coming from, they decide to attack you for it. And the fact that we're going to have possibly a prime minister who actually supported this, Canada is doomed. We're becoming like USA, our southern neighbor, our northern southern neighbors. Other countries will not look at Canada the same way ever again. Tamara Lich and everyone else who are the leaders and every single participant, they deserve to go to jail. They had a lot of people suffering. And think of the children. They were used. Children's Aid Society literally had to reach out and say to those parents in Ottawa, leave the kids at home or leave them at a relative's house so they can take care of them. So while you do your protesting, and instead the parents ignored this, and they have been reported for child neglect. Because why are you acting like a freaking terrorist? It's a stereotype that Canadians are viewed as nice, caring people, and U.S. citizens, when they're traveling internationally, they have to pretend that they are Canadians to avoid the U.S. Stereotypes. Oh, they act like this. They only care about themselves. They think they're the center of the world. They're better than everyone else. And Canadians, they were thinking, yeah, we're so lucky that people think that we're a great country and we helped other countries and wars they were dealing with, especially World War II. What happened to that? A great nation that's slowly breaking. And this is what happens when ideology takes over what is the right thing that you could do and can do. And those people, they even tried to use Terry Fox against everyone, just about everyone else who was dealing with cancer. Think about those people too. Her, Terry Fox dealt with something. We're dealing with something. Not even the same thing. You know how hard it is for people to have cancer and whatever form of cancer it is, and their life will not be the same again. And all that disinformation that has been thrown around, saying vaccines kill you, vaccines give you coronavirus, which that is not true. You cannot get disease or infection from a vaccine that is made to fight against it. And there will be people who said, I didn't get vaccinated and look where I am, I'm fine. And they're telling people to not get vaccinated and act like me. There are people who are, their bodies are different, they need to get vaccinated for safety reasons. And just because you feel like this, that does not mean that you have the right to tell the others that you should act this way. Which unfortunately, these truck rally people acted this way. And don't tell that to a person who suffered long COVID, which is even worse than coronavirus. You can't even eat the same food that you love to eat. You have the allergic reaction to them, and if you eat them, you end up in the hospital. And chances are high chance that you will die. And now there is a movement of people that in the U.S. Saying that they don't want to get vaccinated, and anyone who decides to get vaccinated, that those people are idiots. Those people are misleading you, and if you want to be on the safe side, you can get vaccinated. If you don't want to get vaccinated, that's up to you. But don't try to say some stuff about people who do want to get vaccinated. And if you do say something about people who do want to get vaccinated, that does not make you a better person. That instead makes you look like a complete jerk. And unfortunately, there are people in USA that they will say that, oh, it's always those Democrats or Republicans. It's on people from both sides, not just the one side. And don't let this trick you. Because there are people from multiple parties, supporters, who they think the same way, but they will instead blame the political party they support, and instead try to blame it on the others. And there will be situations that where people will think like that, and especially in the coronavirus, that was a big one that people did say, and they still are. Even those people from the Daily Wire. So they have been saying some controversial stuff, and not just about the movies, but saying anything about people not getting vaccinated. Even young Brett Cooper, who is 22 years of age. And not to be judgmental, but you can have your own opinions, but don't call other people the idiots for just thinking this way. But if you're trying to harm people just because of you don't think this is right, and you're trying to you're trying to start this movement, and you have a group of people, and then it fails, and then you end up just marching these people off a cliff, you first, and then the people fall after you. think about the decision you're going to be making, and this is what happens when people like Tamara Lich said and did that will cost her, and she was got arrested, and now hopefully she gets locked up for starting the truck rally, which that truck convoy went all the from west coast to Ottawa, and hopefully people in Ottawa, they are slowly recovering. So we give out their prayers to those people. You don't have to be religious today, just say some positive things to them. Because an entire city had to suffer for just a group of selfish people who think their way was better than everyone else, and that was the only way that people should act like that. Because that was probably the worst times Canadians have ever looked at as bad, other than what Canadians did to the natives. But that's a different story. Let's just hope Tamara Lynch is get locked up, and Patrick and the other two and any other sub leaders, and also the Pierre Poiliverre doesn't become prime minister.